April 8th, City of Lockport Plan and Zoning Commission meeting. Welcome, everyone. Call the meeting to order, and I'd like to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kathy, would you mind taking roll call?
You got it. Wheeler.
Here.
Garland.
Here.
Maloney.
Here.
Likens.
Here.
Peters.
Here.
Calderon.
Here.
Quinn.
Here.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum, and I notice the boss is in the audience and would like to open the floor to
The boss.
Mayor Street.
Well, thanks, Scott. I've always made it a point not to come to planning and zoning meetings because I've never wanted to influence or put anything out there. I always want your objective opinions, and so I've always, I think maybe in 12 years I've talked to 5 times, maybe like on the side to somebody, but never come here. And I appreciate all the hard work that you guys do up here and giving that objective opinion on behalf of the city. But tonight with Bill Maloney and Janine Wheeler with their final planning and zoning meeting, I wanted to specifically come out and say thank you both for all your hard work. I actually have always thought that this job is harder than council. I really do. I think you guys have like way more responsibility and you have to really get into the nuts and bolts, and I commend you all for all the hard work that you do. And Bill, we were talking about you today at staff meeting. Tom Thanis was saying the first time he ran into you in Joliet, there was some topic that came up about trains, and you showed up to talk, and Tom's like, who is this guy from Lockport, right? But by the time you were done, it's like, man, that guy really knows what he's talking about. And he just praised you about how you added to the conversation and how you were able to bring your knowledge base to the floor and really made a difference on that topic there. And you've always done that here as well. And I want to say how much I appreciate, on behalf of the council, how much I appreciate all the hard work and years that you've put into this city. And thank you so much. Janine, same, not as many years as Bill, but, and you don't know nothing about trains, you don't know. But I've always appreciated all your hard work and your diligence and thoughtfulness. So thank you both very much.
Thank you, Mayor. With that, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by Garland,
Second.
second by Quinn. All in favor? Please say aye.
Aye.
That passes. Thank you. Okay. I understand we have just a little Scribner's error on our agenda, and that actually under public hearings tonight will be case number 2025-003 that's currently noted under new business. So we're simply moving that up to public hearings. And we will need a motion to open the public hearing.
Okay.
Do I have that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Garland,
Second.
second by Wheeler. All in favor?
Aye.
Just real quick, Chairman, just wanted to note that it was signed, it was placed in the paper, it just simply got put in the wrong section of the agenda when it was posted, but all the notices did go out.
Okay. Thank you, Lance. So with that, Kimberly, would you like to present the case?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. The case before you this evening takes place on one of the commercial outlots that are located in the Springs at Lockport development. The petitioner, Richard Silverman, is seeking an amendment to the plan development final plat of re-subdivision, and preliminary and final development plan in one step for a Wendy's restaurant with drive-through facility. Displayed on your monitor is an aerial photo. The subject property is highlighted in the yellow dashed line. It is generally located north of 159th Street, east of Edelman Road, and west of I-355. Lot 2 of Springs at Lockport consists of approximately 2.76 acres that was platted in September 2023 by the Continental Group, which is the developer of the Springs Apartments. The planned development allows for commercial development for the outlots that are located along 159th Street. These lots are zoned C3 Highway Commercial, which is similar to Lockport Square to the south. The re-subdivision, the plat of re-subdivision for Lot 2 is displayed. The re-subdivision will create 3 new smaller lots, lots 1, 2, and 3. The division will result in the creation of 1 additional lot. Any increase in the number of lots within the planned development requires major amendment. The proposed amendment will also address the special use permit for the drive-through facility. The Wendy's will be located on Lot 1, which is highlighted in yellow. And a final site plan is displayed. The final site plan is in conformance with the bulk requirements of the zoning ordinance. The plan illustrates that the development will include a 2,152 square foot standalone commercial building with drive-through for a Wendy's restaurant. The Wendy's development includes the drive-through having a pickup window on the east side of the building and outdoor eating area on the south side. Adequate vehicle queuing is illustrated. Street access comes from the Springs private driveway, which makes connection to the Edelman Road and 159th Street. Sidewalks, let me back up to the previous slide. Sidewalks are in conformance with city code. However, staff review comments still remain. The plans show that a narrow turf strip will result along the west external sidewalk, which could result in future maintenance difficulties. Staff has suggested moving the 5-foot width sidewalk to the edge of curb. Typically, sidewalks that are located along vehicle areas are required to be 7-foot width. However, staff is supporting a 5-foot width sidewalk at the edge of curb to avoid an increase in impervious surface, which is currently at the maximum of 70%. Parking is in conformance with city code. 11 spaces are required and 27 spaces are provided. Next is the final landscape plan, which is displayed. It is in conformance with requirements, however, will also need to be updated to show the new location of the sidewalk. Elevations, there's a rendering. An updated building elevation was distributed to you earlier, should be at each of your stations. The proposed development meets the Class 1 materials requirement with the use of face brick and glass storefront. Additional elevations show that the roof line varies in height. The side elevations show that the building has a separate integrated cryo-cooling system, which is a pre-assembled outdoor one-piece walk-in freezer or cooler that's not integrated into the building's construction. The applicant agreed to match the materials to the primary building. Signage was also included and is in conformance with city code. Final engineering plans were reviewed by the city's development engineering team. There are items that are still outstanding. However, the engineering staff believes that all comments could be addressed by the applicant prior to the committee of the whole meeting. Revised drawings will need to be submitted by April 16th. The fire district, building official, and police department reviewed the plans and have no comments at this time. Should the commission find the final re-subdivision plat for Lot 2 of Springs at Lockport and final development plans for 2,152 square foot commercial building on Lot 1 acceptable, the following motions are suggested. A motion to adopt staff's findings and recommend approval of an amendment to the Springs at Lockport Planned Commercial Development. 2, a motion to approve final re-subdivision plat for Lot 2. A motion to approve the final development plans for a 2,152 square foot commercial building with 3 conditions. 1, the applicant will address all remaining staff review comments to include planning and engineering comments in full prior to committee of the whole. If the applicant chooses to not address the comments, the applicant acknowledges that the item will be removed from the committee of the whole agenda. 2, all tenant deliveries shall take place on site and not on the access roads located on the northwest or south of the property. And 3, details of safety barriers for outdoor eating areas will be needed at the time of building permit. This concludes staff's analysis. The applicant is here this evening to answer questions. And one last thing, this case will be assigned to the committee of the whole meeting, which is Wednesday, May 7th.
I will add one other comment related to a sidewalk along 159th Street. We are working with the applicant on a long-term plan for that sidewalk. Just like on the south side, we have a sidewalk that runs the entire length of Lockport Square. There is the potential that this commercial strip development could extend all the way over to where the Lockport Square entrance is, main entrance is, all the way over to Edelman. And rather than construct one sidewalk every 200 feet and then have it sit for 6 months or a year, we're working with the applicant on a fee in lieu of, so that either he or us could build it all at one time, so that once it's built, it's usable by everybody, and it would connect on the north side of the property to the sidewalk that's being proposed there. So that'll include a crosswalk across Edelman Drive. It'll include a handicap ramp or an ADA accessible ramp along there, as well as a sidewalk in the 159th Street right away. There is a fair amount of grade change that occurs there, and so it's not as easy as just simply putting a sidewalk out there. So there is a fair amount of engineering that needs to be dealt with that, and so we're working with the applicant on getting that accomplished, but there will be a sidewalk in the future, but it is not shown on this plan.
Thank you, Lance. Thank you, Kimberly. Would Mr. Silverman like to have a word?
Hello, Richard Silverman, MJK Real Estate. Thank you, everyone, for your time in hearing our presentation for the Lockport Springs development. I've been involved in Lockport for many years now, since 2018 at Lockport Square with the Chipotle building, and then more recently with the Noodles and the Future 7 Brew building. So we've seen a need for Wendy's in Lockport for many, many years now. Some restrictions didn't allow us to go across the street at Lockport Square. So in conjunction with Continental, working on an overall development, I currently own the 2.75 acres on the corner that we're discussing. This is just the first phase of it. We'd like to be working in the field and getting towards construction in the summer, with Wendy's opening up in December is the ultimate goal. We look forward to presenting phase 2 and 3 as we get our ducks in order with staff on our presentation and deliverables. So I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Commissioners, floor is open to you. Oh, that's correct. Kathy, anyone on the sign-in sheet? No. Any members of the public, would they like to speak? Okay. Hearing none. Commissioners, now the floor is yours.
Seems like an appropriate place for Wendy's. Something that'll get his Frosties quicker, so I appreciate that. Welcome addition, so appreciate the investment.
And I like everything I see here that they presented. They're not asking for a special use permit, they're not asking for a variance, they're not asking for anything exceptional. Everything is completely within the city's code, which I find rather refreshing compared to some of what we've seen here in the past.
I owe that to Lance and Kimberly and getting me in order before I got to the public hearing. We don't always conform, but here we did.
Yeah, I didn't have anything other than the engineering comments being addressed, which I'm sure is being handled, and if not, that'll take precedence before the committee of the whole, but other than that, everything seems to conform. I did have some sidewalk questions that Lance pretty much answered here. I do think it's nice to have the outdoor area, especially, you might have some folks from the high school or from the apartments or just passing by when it's nice outside, so that's a nice addition, so.
Okay.
I can recall McDonald's required a special use permit for an extra tall flagpole, just so people could find them. I mean, I don't care for using a flagpole and a flag for marketing purposes.
Okay. If there are no other discussion items, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Garland,
Second.
second by Calderon. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, motion passes. So, we have motions that staff have recommended, and Tom, should we have three separate motions, or can we combine those into sort of one in all motion?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, you are allowed to take action on all three with a single motion.
Okay.
So unless somebody would prefer to have separate votes on each one from the commission.
Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion as noted on our screen?
I'll make the motion to adopt staff's findings and recommend approval of amendment to Springs of Lockport Planned Commercial Development. In addition to a motion to approve the final re-subdivision plat for Lot 2 to create new lots 1, 2, and 3, and a motion to approve the final development plans for the 2,152 square foot commercial building with following conditions as listed in 1, 2, and 3 below motion 3.
Motion has been submitted by Garland,
Second.
second by Wheeler. Kathy, would you provide a roll call vote, please?
You got it. Wheeler.
Yes.
Garland.
Yes.
Maloney.
Yes.
Likens.
Yes?
Peters.
Yes.
Calderon.
Yes.
And Quinn.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Welcome, Wendy's. Good luck getting through all the engineering. Yours next. Okay. So with public hearings taken care of, we don't have any other new business. We don't have any new business this meeting. We don't have any old business. Any citizens to be heard? Don't see, nobody wants to talk. Okay. On to the chairman's report, and I'd just like to follow up with what Steve mentioned with Bill and Janine having their final commission meeting. I know Janine has been on the commission for almost 7 years, and Bill has been on the commission for 18 years. I moved to Lockport in December of 2006, and Bill took the appointment on the commission in 2007, correct? About then?
It was Mayor Tim Murphy that appointed me.
Okay, and then there was a period between then and now that you served as chairman for
Yes.
about 6 years, and I think when I came on, you were the chairman. And
Yeah.
I just want to say,
Mayor Trivedi appointed me for another 4 years, and he decided to replace Dave with me as chairman. And then Steve got appointed, elected mayor, and he moved Dave back over there.
okay. Well, to both of you, I have learned much, and I think it helps me sitting here, from what I've learned from both of you. You have both contributed to the smart growth and development of this community. And I think that's why there are so many people and businesses moving to our city of Lockport. And you two should be thanked many times over for what you've done, as the mayor mentioned already.
One of the things that we never resolved was the Star Business Park, or the former Chevron property.
And I think that's hopefully gonna come up here, maybe in my tenure. I don't know, we'll see.
We had a proposal for a transload facility where freight would come in by rail and get hauled out by truck, which would be a lot more trains and a lot more trucks than on the site now.
Yeah,
The planning commission rejected it, the city council rejected it. Nobody liked it at all.
yep.
When it gets done, Bill, I know we can count on you being at the ribbon cutting.
And I think it will be developed in a way that is far more welcoming and pleasing to everyone in our community. So, and I know Lance and Kimberly have good visions for that. So I think, thank you for the guidance getting us to this
Yeah.
point.
Well, the railroads have the right of eminent domains. They could have acquired all the property all at once,
Yeah,
but they can only use eminent domain to acquire private property. It's all city-owned now, they can't use eminent domain to acquire anything.
well, we've got hopefully a good plan coming in front of us. And I also want to thank you, Bill, personally, for your service in the military and, your personal sacrifice to the time you spent in Vietnam. And I thank you for that.
I returned from the Army with 32 years of service.
Yes. And that is a personal sacrifice everyone here should, again, be very thankful for. And
I chose not to run for another term because of my declining health.
and my father is in the same situation as you. I thank you both for both of your services in Vietnam. And with that, before we close and adjourn, I would like if someone would be willing to take a picture of all of us with Bill before we adjourn during my report. Is that okay, Lance? We'll just get right by Bill.
Another round of applause.
Yes, I think so. There you go. Sit next to you, Bill.
Jeez.
Thank you.
He wants service.
Glad you were here today.
Yeah, so
they need each other.
Yeah, well, so that was the route given to them before any development
Yes.
plan here on the
Yes.
western boundary. We're,
So that concludes my report. Are there any other reports from commissioners? Hearing nothing, anything else from staff?
Yep, we have completed final negotiations on our consulting firm for the downtown master plan via the Regional Transportation Authority. We'll be able to announce that selected finalists once the director of the RTA has reviewed the proposal and approved it, and we get all the signatures in place. But I'm really excited about the path forward and the firm that has been selected, so I think that that'll be a very positive thing. As many of you received on Monday morning, we did get the RFQ for the Star Innovation District project out the door on Friday at 5 o'clock. And so there are 2 weeks to gather any questions or input that people want to ask about. And then we will have a response to that, a written response to that, and then online question and answer session to make sure that we clarify any kind of secondary questions or something else that might be spurred on by an initial question. So that is underway. Again, it went out to a select group of pre-vetted companies that are engaged in the data center industry, and so we're pretty happy with the group that it went out to, and we should know by later in June who will ultimately get selected, but the RFQs are due back, I believe, on May 2nd. And then we will narrow that down to 2, 3 at most preferred teams. And then they will go into an RFP process where they will actually start to look at the actual proposal that they would have for the property. So those are the 2 main items that are on our list to do.
Very good. 2025 should be an exciting year.
Your May agenda will be in it.
That's what I've heard.
Oh, which is one other thing, we, with the end of Bill and Janine's terms, we do have 2 new plan commissioners who will be appointed on May 7th. I will make sure to introduce them to all of you. Prior to the May meeting, we're going to get together towards the end of this month to be able to do kind of a Plan Zoning Commission University session that I'm sure that many of you have been through. And then also, given the quick turnaround from the May 7th appointment to the May 13th Plan and Zoning Commission meeting, we're going to sit down with each of them and go through the packet itself so that they can become familiar with it, know how to review it, know what they're looking at, just go into that in a lot more detail so that they come prepared and ready to ask questions or engage in the meeting on the 13th.
So they will be baptized by fire. Very
You
good.
are correct.
Thank you. Lance, anything? Kimberly? We're good? Okay. Bill, would you mind making a motion to adjourn?
No motion to adjourn?
Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
All in favor? Please say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Meeting's adjourned.